Silence is golden. This phrase is true for basically every cat species, including our own little room tigers. Cats certainly belong to the stealthiest, most silent animals in the whole world and are therefore crazy good hunters, and on top of that can prevent ending up as prey themselves. Let's take a closer look at what exactly makes them so silent while walking, jumping and moving around. The ability of all kinds of cats to walk with absolute no sound goes back to ancient times. Cats always have been and still are mainly carnivorous and are therefore reliant on hunting and catching prey. And of course, making no sound while sneaking up on the desired food source is very helpful. You might wonder why most pet cats, although they do not necessarily have to feed themselves, still are insanely good hunters and sneak up on prey animals like mice, small birds, lizards and more. Since pet cats are often descendants of the species Felis silvestris lybica, commonly known as the African or Near Eastern wildcat, moving silently is ingrained in their DNA and their body. Now, before we look at the anatomy of a cat's paw in a little bit more detail, let's first take a look at a cat's overall posture, stance and locomotion. While hunting, cats keep their body low to the ground and only lift one paw up off the ground at a time. This obviously makes them smaller and harder to spot, but it also spreads out the pressure on the ground and allows them to control their body movement more effectively. On top of that, two other things are important to note here. One is called feline direct registering and the other is called digitigrade movement. Feline direct registering describes a certain pattern of movement in a cat in which the cat moves their hind paws into the same spot their front paws were in originally. This results in less touched spots on the ground and also smoother movement. Digitigrade locomotion or movement is described as walking along the length of their digits rather than along the soles of their feet. Digits is another term used to describe the fingers or toes of the cat. So contrary to us humans placing the entire foot from heel to toe on the ground while walking, cats only place their toes on the ground, which is far more silent and stealthy. Since we already are talking about cats' digits and toes, let's take a more detailed look at the anatomy of a cat's paw, which is quite fascinating and equally as important, if not more important, than the way they move and walk. A cat paw basically consists of a set of pretty sharp and retractable claws and three different types of pads. The four single small pads at the tip of their feet are called digital pads. On the two front paws there's also a so-called dew claw, which is an inner toe that doesn't touch the ground at all. In the middle of the paw is a pad called metacarpal pad, which is the biggest of all pads. Lastly, there's a carpal pad, which for example comes into use while walking downhill or climbing. Now the main task for all these pads is to absorb and dissipate as much energy as possible while walking, running and jumping. They are designed, so to speak, to be highly impact resistant while still remaining sensitivity. These pads of a cat's paw are a three-layered structure consisting of an outer skin or epidermis, a thicker layer of tissue beneath and a soft layer that acts as the main energy absorber. This last layer is a very important layer and is made up of stretchy collagen fibers arranged in porous crisscrossing networks. This creates large and small chambers filled with fatty and bouncy tissue which can absorb and dampen the impact while simultaneously maintaining the overall integrity and mechanical strength. If you want to dive even deeper into the anatomy and want to learn about things like muscle, nerve and bone structure, feel free to check out the sources in the description box down below. But to round out the video, I want to quickly talk about other uses and features of a cat's paw. Felines obviously use their claws for hunting and catching or killing prey. However, these razor-sharp weapons are also used for drinking and cleaning themselves. If you have a pet cat, you probably often see your cat licking their paws and then clean their head or groom their fur with it. A lot of wild cats will do the same thing. Another important use for the paw is the communication aspect. The paws are loaded with scent glands between the toes, which release pheromones that deliver chemical messages when the cat scratches objects or the ground. Next to those scent glands, there are also sweat glands on the paws. These glands are there to help a cat regulate their own temperature. However, if a cat is anxious, stressed out or scared, these glands will also secrete sweat. So after all, the absolute silence of cats is a mixture of a crazy paw anatomy and the way they move and hold their body. If you want to learn about some other sneaky animals, feel free to check out my video about the stealthiest animals in the world. Also, I would appreciate if you could click on the like button. Feel free to subscribe for more videos, it's free and only takes 1 second. Thanks for watching and have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day.